Okay. Good morning, February 9th, 2026. There's only 319 shopping days till Christmas or something like that. I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Hope everyone had a nice day yesterday. Beautiful Super Bowl weekend. Andrea, nice to see you. Hello, baby. Love you. Um, Sir Elston Gunn, made man around these parts. Thank you for being here. Sharona, thank you so much for your support. I love you. Thank you so much. Got that yesterday. Uh, Kanani, good morning. Jersey Jan, what is up? Me again. So good to see you. This is an amazing day. Let me tell you something. Amazing day. Um, amazing. Um, uh, you guys are going to be you're going to be super, super, super proud to be part of this family if you're not already. Because we are about to make a leap that is absolutely incredible. Okay. We're going to reach millions and millions of people very, very soon. Okay. Um, with things I'm going to be doing this week. And you're going to see the impact, and it's going to be tremendous. Okay, tremendous. And that's all I can say at the moment about it. But exactly what you guys hoped would happen with me. We're trying to reach as many people as we can with our message. Um, I don't care who you are, where you're from, where you live. If you hear my voice, I want you to know Scientology is a disaster. It's a horror show. And I'm here to tell you why. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's all we're ever going to do anymore, you know. The days of arguing with these idiots and all that stuff that we were doing, that's just, it serves no purpose. Those are all pro Scientologists. And that's why they attack us. Okay. And so there's nothing else we ever need to say. Don't even care. Absolutely worthless, of no value. Do not care. We're going to spend our time doing what we should always be doing, which is going after enormous amounts of people to see our message, who understand and who care about our plight. Um, it's going to be incredible. I can't wait. This doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. But I can't wait. You guys are going to be so, oh my God, I'm never forgetting you guys. David, DM has to take sleep aid because of you. um, Me again, you're going to be, I'm telling you, you guys are going to be so proud because we are busting loose on an entire another level. Okay. Concentrated, focused, professional. It's gonna blow your mind. And that's starting this week. Maybe even tomorrow. We'll see. But like I said, you'll see the results down the road by 3-4 weeks. Incredible. Anyway, I'm so excited, so happy. And and there's a whole bunch of other stuff I haven't told you guys that's going to totally blow your mind too. You guys are gonna have the best month along with me that we've ever had. I mean, by far, by a hundredfold. I mean, you guys have the oh my God. This is going to be the most amazing month. This next couple of months is going to be just out of just this next 2 3 months totally out of. I'm just so excited. And it probably will be the whole year, quite honestly. But you watch, you're going to say, "Oh my God, look at this! This is how it's done." Okay, you're going to be so proud of me. And I am so proud of you guys, and I'm just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of work, really coming to an amazing head here in a minute. And it is just I've never been more I've never felt better. I'm just all the work totally worth it. We took lemons and made milkshakes. I mean, that's what we did. We, you know, we took lemons and made milkshakes. I am so proud, and you guys have been with me the whole way, and it's I made my chat exclusive as hell, as you guys know. Um, one person can type in there for every 10 that can't, and so when I say you guys mean a lot, that's proofs in the pudding. You know, um, and but anyway. I always wanted to reach the right people. That's all I cared about. But as far as my message, I want to reach everybody who's alive. I don't, period. And and I'm just so excited. I'm so proud of us. Oh my God, this next month and a half. Well, like I said, you guys you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna go absolutely nuts. Um, okay, so that brings us to today's topic, which is past lives. Okay, and I have my theories on this, uh, and and I know what Scientology believes, right? And uh, it is, um, I have. Uh, I have my own feelings, like I say on it, that I'm going to share with you guys today, and from a couple different angles. Okay, and one for as a child auditor, and as a child receiving auditing. When you're 11 years old, I mean, what have you done? Right? Nothing. I rode my skateboard. I rode my big wheel or whatever. What have you done by that point? So quite often, um, I would have to make up whether it was an ethics handling or an auditing cycle. I would just have to wholesale make something up. Okay. You can't turn in a blank sheet of paper. If they tell you to write up your overts and withholds, um, and for those who don't know, is a harmful act in Scientology, and withholds is things you don't want anyone to know. Okay, and if you get in trouble in Scientology, they want you to do that so they can know what you're up to. And so most of the time, I would get in trouble. I would play along because I didn't want them to know the real reason I was upset. And they found me upset, which is I couldn't confront what I was doing, or I felt horrible about it, okay, or I just was scared, or I was fearful, or I'd just be exhausted. It's not natural to be in fight or flight every second of your life, um, from 9 to 13. It's just not natural, and and the energy it takes to subdue natural emotions is just exhausting. Okay, um, and Can you not claim that you were an angel in a past life? uh, so, anyway, I would wake up. I would eat breakfast. I would go to course, go to the org, but we never called it a church. You always called it the org. I would go to the org, and then, which is short for organization, and study all day. We leave the house at 8:15, 8:30. Get there 15 minutes. 8:45 till 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and and then I'd go home and take a shower and go to bed. And then on Sundays, the only day I had off, I would be doing chores, and then I would read my comic books or watch football or go to the park or something, right? I didn't have time to do anything. So I had to make up stuff, okay? Who have you been talking to? And so I haven't talked to anybody, but I would say, oh yeah, a neighbor up the street, I think he's anti-Scientology. He doesn't, he was like, you heard of that nonsense Dianetics, or, I just make up some crap like that because you have to put something down or you'll really be in trouble. Okay. So that's just how it works. Okay. Well, guess what? In auditing, when I would audit some sick, disgusting person, little did I know back then, but it makes perfect sense as an adult, okay? You expect it, that if someone does some seriously depraved, disgusting things, they probably did it more than once, okay? Like the guy you catch robbing your house, it ain't the first house he's robbed, okay? Odds are, right? Uh, and so anyway, as an auditor, you would help them locate earlier similar incidents where this thing occurred before, okay? Or something very, very close to it. And while they're thinking, I would see the needle move and I go, that, and help them locate that thought you just had there, that. And they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I forgot all about it. That's when my girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. And then you hear some other crazy thing that you're just like, oh my God, right? And so I'm helping that person locate more and more of this until they can't locate it anymore. But I found something really interesting out. Like I've never believed I got to all of them because I don't believe you can just do some of these things I was hearing 2 or 3 times. I don't believe that. I think you've done this 100 times. I think you're a disaster. Okay. Okay. This was as a child. This is what I was thinking. Okay. And so what people would do, like clockwork, they would place those actions on a previous life. This all happened last month. You can feel it, okay? But this was a past life because they don't want you to believe that they did this 130 times in the last 3 years. They don't want you to know that, okay? But I always knew you can't be that sick and just be okay. What are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that was one of the first problems I had anyway. It's like, you just told me, what if you were a serial killer? And what if you just smoked 100 people? And I got you to locate, because you forgot, you genuinely forgot a whole bunch of them. Okay? A whole bunch of them. Because it's all the same. You're just trying to get those endorphins. You don't even remember the faces. And so I help you locate those. Now, are you telling me that after you locate those, and you tell me 15 times you did some of the most craziest, disgusting, horrible, that you're okay now? And they would get progressively worse because I think you get more comfortable with saying it. Okay. So things would get even worse. And I think all that was you being willing, the PC, the pre-clear, was willing to now open up and say a little more, give me a little bit more, and see how it makes them feel. And sure enough, it does make you feel good to get something off your chest you thought you were going to die with. Okay. Let alone people are going to pat you on the back and be like, how does it, it's so great to see you perfectly well. And if you give us another $30,000, $40,000 for another 30, 40 hours of auditing, you might go clear. And now we're telling you that you're perfectly good. You're perfectly fine. You're healthy. You're mentally healthy. Okay. Because you told me about the people you snuffed, you're now okay? What? What they tell you is you get to the basic and the charge blows and it completely erases. Okay, so it's just not there anymore to mess with you. Of course, they could have told you right off the bat without having you spend $100,000 that if you just stop mocking up your reactive mind, it goes away. So then why do we have to do all this work that we did individually before? This is just a total waste of time and money. Okay? If that's all you got to do and then the whole thing goes away, why do we have to take each individual thing? So you see, it's already BS. And I knew that was a problem. But I could not understand because I'm a kid. I don't know how to reconcile that you're okay. I think you're insane. I think you're a monster. You're not okay. You're a monster. A horrible, horrible monster. Okay? But I noticed past lives were used that way. They were used as a dumping ground for stuff I think you did recently. Okay? And for an ego boost. Because like I've always joked about, but it's totally true. Everybody was Genghis Khan or whatever, Caesar, No one was like, yeah, I mopped up the nudie booths or whatever in Times Square back in the 50s. No one cops to that job. Uh, I delivered pizzas till I was 67. Who did that? No one says that. So um, it's like a dumping ground for stuff you did. And when you realize no one can say anything, like you could say, yeah, oh my God, because they love, like, even though everyone knows it's BS, you still take the compliments, right? In other words, you still take the shine. Scientology will always take the shine, even though they know it's BS. So this guy has said he's copped to 36 things. The list is 500. Okay, but now you're patting him on the back. Well done, my friend. You did great. Do you see why a sick person would love this? And when you and no one can be like, come on, dude, that wasn't from a past life. Come on, dude. That was from November. Like that's not going to happen. So you feel completely comfortable to just say crap. And like I said, when I was in the auditing chair, I had to make up crap from past lives because I had nothing for it to go. Like how could I say it was from this life? All I had done is pick my nose to that point, right? So, I've always believed that it was like a convenient dumping ground. Okay. And people would say, like, they would jump from 1860 to 17 whatever to 14 something to 12 whatever. And you're just like, this is such a bunch of madness. But I had, like I said, my imagination was amazing because I was reading 30 comics a month, right? And believe it or not, the people that write comic books are amazing. There's a ton of amazing authors that are just that come up with incredible stories. They just happen to be shorter. They're 3, 4 issue arcs in most cases, right? So it'd just be like a small book, but it's still really good. So I had a million ideas in my head about how things probably are in real life because I didn't know what real life was. Comic books are what showed me what real life was, right? And that's how I realized like everyone has sympathy, and then like I say, you go to the park and you see the kid falls on his face, right? Cuts his, forehead. He's okay. He's just scared because your forehead bleeds like crazy, right? So a tiny little cut, and you're like, ugh, as a kid, right? And so the mom runs over and says, "You're okay, baby," right? And one kid and a hug, and 2 seconds later he's out running around. It's all good. And I'm like, well, that looks normal. Like you wouldn't think to yourself, what should I do? Okay, you would just do that. But in Scientology, you would be like, shh, make no sounds because everything's recorded and it's going to negatively affect the person who is in pain right now later in life. So you act like you're doing it for the right reasons and you're trying to help somebody, but it's like, what does it do? It reinforces that you never have help coming. No one's coming for you. No one's going to save you. Okay. I used to hope, like, literally, I would hope, like, I knew it wasn't going to be Superman. You follow me? I would just, in my own head, I would make up, like, it'd be so great if just somebody saved, me and my family. Anybody. I'm like, if someone saw what was going on in here, they would stop it. And that was like, it was something I knew would never happen, but I was always willing to hope it would happen. Like I was willing to hope it would happen. Um, there was no internet, there was no hidden cameras, there was no nothing, you know. And I was already dealing with the psychosis of knowing all the things I knew, and I could act as an adult while I was at the org, okay? But when I go home, I can't speak like that, okay? And even worse, when I go to my family, like my cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents, I can't let them know that I know anything about debased garbage because back then there was no excuse. You couldn't say, oh, he must have found it on the internet. There is no internet. How does he know about this stuff? That's what would have happened. If I'd have said one word, someone would have said, I need to know right now how he knows what that is. I need to know right now. That's what would have happened. So I had to make sure I never say anything, right? But again, the stuff that they kick your ass with, you can also use to your advantage at times, right? You know, so they know that it sells. Okay, if you can have somebody talk to their friends, because everyone's going to say something to their friends, that they're going to say, "Hey, don't say nothing, but I'll tell you. I'm not supposed to, but uh, dude, we hit past lives, bro. We go into everything. If your friend told you that and you trusted him, you'd be like, damn, dude, let me check it out. So they're happy for certain things to be rumored and sort of go around. They don't put a stop to. Just like the rumor that 15 or 10 or whatever OT8s got together and went to flag to stop a hurricane from coming. That was a rumor that they let keep going all over the place, right? So it was that kind of thing. And um, so and like I said, there's always things in Scientology that you find out as you go where you've been lied to, and then you were lied to, and then you were lied to. Okay, and that's why I say once they get to the point where it's like they've been lied to about a bunch of stuff, and you're martyring for nobody. These orgs are empty. This is going to have a huge effect on the staff that remains, the Sea Org members that remain. Um, it's really going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Um, you have to believe you're doing this for a cause. There has to be a cause. You can't just work 110 hours a week for $47 if you're lucky, for nothing. You can't. You can't do it. You can't. So, um, and keep in mind, no Scientologist knows of a single person with any abilities at all to do anything. Everyone's just hoping people have it. Okay. I've always thought nothing could be more embarrassing than for one OT8 to meet another OT8 in a room where there's nobody else there. Like, boy, that would be douche chilling. Because you know that you're both worthless, can't do anything. Um, so it's past lives are used to get to the because this way you can get to the basic without you admitting that you've done this 70 times this lifetime. Okay. And you can tell when people are telling stories when they hold up, like they hold back just a little bit. And there's other times where you can tell they got sucked into it and they're feeling it and you can see it. And it is so disgusting. And that's what I looked for, That's what I looked for as a kid. That's what hit me. I could tell by your reaction and how you were reacting to saying it. Because like I've told you guys since I got here, saying stuff is so much harder than it is thinking it. Stuff, especially stuff you bury. Like I buried so much of this stuff to protect myself that when I started letting it out, it was just crushing me. You guys remember, I couldn't talk about anything without just dying. It was so much blackness and misemotion and everything, just connected to it that even no matter how carefully I would move it, it'd just be, all over the place. And it was like, it was making it so hard to even speak on. And it still is. It's just that I've done it enough now where, I can handle it normally. And I've steered clear of things that I know I can't, So, it's, put it like this. Everyone's heard the thing. It's, the saying, it's way easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled. That's never been more true, than Scientology. And like I said, that's, to me, the independent Scientology thing, and I could be totally wrong with a bunch of different people, whatever. I'm not saying this is truth. This is my version. This is what I believe, okay? I think it's the relationships that you have become really important, especially in a cult, and if you know people 30, 40, 50 years, they become very important to you. And if you're all on the same sort of wavelength and you're going into something else, that makes perfect sense. And this way they can distance themselves from Scientology, like the organization, which they say is bad, but the tech is good, and still feel good about pursuing it and delivering it to people who may want it. And even though I can't understand that for the life of me, outside of, I realize if you take any triple professor from Brown, Yale, Harvard, Colgate, any of these joints, and say, hey, I'm with Uncle Sam. We think you're amazing. We loved your report on what have you. And we would like you to work with us, but you got to sign this NDA, et cetera. But, you're going to make $1.5 million a year, and it's all wonderful. And, you're going to love this. People can't wait, right? And then you find out, hey, everything you've ever studied is 100% BS. and then you give them the truth. 7 out of 8 you can't even keep. The NDA keeps them from ever speaking, but they're like, nah, 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 because there's no possible way that everything I've studied for a quarter century is bogus. It's just too big of a pill to swallow. Okay. And that's just if it's some information you were using to teach other people. Like, imagine if this was to save your eternity. Okay. This was to literally save your eternity, right? You know, you'd be like, I don't know about, it's very, very difficult to give up. Okay. Um, and they have a hard time getting people because of that. So I think that there's something to be said for if you spend 20, 30, 40 years of your life and you believe the good things that happened to you were because of the tech, not because you're just a hardworking, awesome person that made things happen. Okay. Um, you don't ever get to take the credit for anything in Scientology except, okay, for utilizing L. Ron Hubbard's technology perfectly. So if something good happens to you, you either did that knowingly or unknowingly. But that's what happened. There's no way you could have not applied LRH tech and had anything work for you. Okay? That's what they would tell you or have you believe. And the longer you're in that mindset, the harder it is. The harder it is to get out of it. Okay, and the harder it is to get out of it. Okay, and hold on, guys. Here we go. There we go. I just had to mute that. So yeah, um, and this whole like, don't ever forget too that you're always, in order to get to the next step, you have to say that you attained a bunch of abilities, right? A bunch of gains. You had these W's. And if you don't say that and then go to the examiner and your needle's floating, if that doesn't happen, you don't graduate. Okay? And you should be chomping at the bit to tell everybody how great it was, and you can't wait to let everyone know how amazing it was. And if you do that for 20 years and you're always hoping that the next step, because that's what they tell you when you have trouble, OT1 or 2 or 3, like that's because you need to get you need to get to knots, baby. You need to get to knots, Solo knots, your problems are over. And then when you're at solo knots about to, jump off a building, they're like, hey man, OT8's where it's at, dude. You're almost there. So it's always the carrot, right? So if you have that mindset and you've been fooling yourself all this time, and maybe your family's attached, so you don't want to lose them. You don't want to lose all of your work. Everyone will bail on you. You'll have no, you just go along to get along, and and you figure there'll be a point where this will all be handled. There'll be a point where this will be handled, and you sort of look to that time, But I've always thought like, oh, here was another thing that I couldn't get through my head because I was too young, that no adults ever talk about. Okay, so you bounced to when you were a cowboy in 1860, and you came upon the town. You came to the town at high noon, and it was painted red and all this crap. And then you tell the earlier similar, right, to some other movie you saw, in a galaxy long, far away, and this guy dressed in black was like, "Pray I don't alter it any further," and you're telling me these stories. There'd be these huge jumps, right? And it's like, but here's the thing: no one would go back before BC, whatever. Like people will sometimes it hit like some Egyptian stuff, or maybe get 5,000 years back, but they went from 18 little house on the prairie to Egypt. Okay, which always sounded ridiculous to me anyway. But you're 75 million billion gazillion years old, and nothing happened to you before the Egyptian time. That's only like 5,000 years ago. What about the other bazillion years? 47 bazillion. You're telling me nothing happened in that whole 47 bazillion? No one ever said, yeah, 22 million years ago, I was a rock lobster, on Pluto or something, and I was just cruising the beach looking for lost baubles, and this happened. I never heard anything like that. It would always stop way before or never go past that. That didn't make any sense to me. And that's like 99.999% of your history I don't get to hear about. It's never touched on, but you're okay? Look at how much crap you've done just this lifetime, you sick weirdo. You're trying to tell me nothing happened the other 74 trillion years? You see how that's a problem with a kid? It would have went right by me if I was 40. I wouldn't have even given it a thought. I really don't believe I would have. It would have just been like, I never would have put it together. I'd be like, whatever. It is what it is. But that's the kind of stuff that goes through my head, when I'm 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm like, we never hear about 99.999% of your life, your existence. You're clear? You're perfectly good? Huh? And like I said, I had all these problems with the state of clear, but you know what? I could let them go because the OT levels. And I'm assuming the people who went nowhere on the OT levels are probably thinking, okay, that's what 9 through 15 are going to do. And then if they ever came out 20 years from now with some bullshit, 9 through 15, you know what's going to happen when you get done with 15. They're going to go, now that you know who nobody is, you're ready to know who everybody is. Okay? All right. It'll just keep going. You gotta get on OT 16, dude. You know. And that's the power of it. But the past lives thing, it didn't hold any water because I was making it up and getting away with it. And um, my father, he was always some handsome guy that did something cool back in the day. Evil toad this lifetime, but he was, what, Earl Flynn or something, Robin Hood or what. A load of crap. But that was a big, big problem as an auditor and as a pre-clear that I had with that whole past lives BS. Okay. And I personally, I know, I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there's people out there that legitimately deluded themselves that this is real memories from 2.1 million years ago. Okay. Ridiculous, but okay, fine, whatever. I'm not here to make them wrong. I'm just, okay. But just so you know, I think it's absurd. And it's the same thing that I was able to, once I got out of Scientology entirely, to be like, wait a second. Doing OT7, locating those body things, right? You're dealing with body drug addicted body things, in clusters. You've dealt with all this, right? And you're locating, you're speaking with them, you're getting them to go take a body, go, leave you and get back on the swing of things. You have legitimately gone crazy by definition because you're writing down things that as if they happened when it couldn't have happened because there's no such thing. a drug addicted weirdo maniac, okay, came up with this crap. It's not real. It's not true. It's nothing. Okay. So that's like, that's the truth. So that's how I look at it. You just talk to yourself for 2 hours and wrote down a bunch of stuff that's just nonsense. It never happened. Okay. Um, but I was because I was an auditor, I was able to see how PCs react to everything. And then I was able to sort of just piece those together and make my own nonsense. That's all. Um, and people like let's say someone was to ask me, well, didn't you think all this was nonsense? Yes, I did, but you're so busy trying not to lose your family or your life that you don't have a lot of time to think about those things. You're just like, if I even go down that rabbit hole, I might not get out. So I'm going to try just to keep, you know, every day it's just like, here's the water, and you're just doing this, you know. That's to me, that was my life. So you don't have a lot of time, to well, that was actually weird. That was goofy. I don't know about this. Like, that doesn't happen like that. It just happens differently. It's hard to describe. But um, Marcia Smith, what's up? Hey, Zelda. Um, um, yeah, it's like I said, because I made it up. Of course, it's going to make me think everyone else made it up, right? I'm not even trying to say there's no such thing as past lives. I'm just saying if it came out of LRH's mouth, it ain't true. How about that? Is that a better way to put it? Like, you know, um, it's either not true or it doesn't work, you know? Yeah, so it's not true. Yeah. Um, um, and those people who let you in on technology or how things work, you know, like, um, it works for everybody. There's no one it doesn't work for. Like, so this idea, like Scientology, is like, well, if it doesn't work for you, it's because you were out ethics or you didn't understand it, so you didn't apply it properly. That's why it didn't work. Okay, not because the tech is incorrect. But there were so many things that it's like, wait a second, that's impossible because I did exactly what you said. Like, I understand what you're saying. It's my fault. But you and I both know that I know I did what you said. Okay? It's like, would I have figured out how to scramble eggs if no one showed me? Probably not. I don't know. Because I would imagine I would have just kept going like this and making fried eggs for my entire life. I would imagine that's probably what I would have done. And if someone said, hey, dude, go ahead and knock a couple of these in a bowl, throw some half and half in there, watch what happens, wreck them, and then throw. So I probably wouldn't have figured out how to do that on my own. But here's the thing. Now I can tell somebody, take 2 eggs, wreck them half and half, you're in. Scramble them, throw them in you got scrambled eggs. It's going to work for that person. There's never going to be a person who it doesn't work for. But in Scientology, that happens every day. So the person's like, I did what I did. I put the eggs in there. I went like crazy with some half and half, and I put them in the. Scientology is going to say no. There's misunderstood words, and they're going to put you through hell. So after you figure out what happens when you say something doesn't work, you don't say it anymore. Because it's not like people will tell you, oh, I had an issue and I brought it up. Yeah, one time. After that, you didn't bring it up anymore. And unless you're an idiot, you didn't probably bring up anything else either. Okay, so because that stuff doesn't slide. So, um, Scientology protects and values the idea that the tech works no matter what over anything else. But that makes them also susceptible to that hurting them. Okay. COB is able to BS things around to always make the stats at Flag look fantastic, right? Um, so it's like, look, when you do things right, this is how it works. No, no, no. You're just robbing everybody to make it look like it's doing well when it's crashing and burning. But um, it gives those people the reason to continue to believe that, right? But if you're at, think about it. You're at an ideal org, this beautiful place. Everything is how you would hope it would be. Okay, you're doing everything exactly the way you're supposed to, and the whole time people are giving you kudos. Hey, good job, good job. Just like right now on TikTok, right? The Celebrity Center in Las Vegas. Those two gals are doing tons of TikToks. And I'm sure they're getting a lot of kudos, okay, from their seniors. Hey, good work, keep it up, blah, 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 blah. We're getting, this is great. Um, but nothing's going to come of it because their reputation is so bad that that is not enough to overcome, okay? They're going to get a person here and there from seriously hard work that they would have gotten before with ease, okay? But now you're only going to get a few. And for the most part, they also know you're not going to get someone between, 30 and 50 into Scientology, 30 and 60. You're just not. You got to get the college kids because that's that one place where you're so malleable, where and you believe your parents are idiots and they don't know and they wouldn't know and how would they know, and they're only what they are because of where they were born and whom to, and everything. Remember when you were 18, you're a freaking genius, right? So that's the time they can get you, um, and that's why they defended those campuses so well, and went out of their way to defend that. Um, like I said, I have proof because they took my stuff down, all my flyers that and you guys who were there at the time, I was putting up 15 staple. I mean, to take off a flyer wasn't just to rip it off. They had to then go and take off all these little pieces. I mean, it was ridiculous what they had to do. Okay. You can't do that in 2 seconds. It takes time. Okay. And they were doing this in the middle of the night. But it proves that that's their last hunting ground where they can have any success. All right. Um, so outside of that, like I said, the people that are at these orgs, they're telling those two ladies at the Celebrity Center in Las Vegas, they're doing great, keep it up, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? The stats are going to continue to go like this, right? Down, down, down. They're just going to continue to do that, right? And then it's going to become an ethics issue. Even though those two ladies are going to go, we made 500 TikToks, okay? We did everything he told us to do. We did everything LRH says to do. And it's an ethics problem why this isn't reverting. They have to say yes, or they have to say LRH tech doesn't work. So again, by keeping an ideal org open, forcing themselves to run through staff otherwise would probably stay, Sea Org members that would otherwise stay. Okay. If you worked your butt off 100 hours a week, did everything right, and then you got to take you got to take the fall, you got to fall on the sword for Vegas not doing anything. Maybe that would work until you find out that there's no one in Arizona. Okay. When you find out there's 6 people in Denver, what? 6 students in an ideal org in Denver, Colorado? Portland's org is insignificant. Nobody there. It's a totally insignificant operation. Seattle, totally insignificant. And these are places they should be killing it. Okay. If they can't do well in Hollywood, Portland, Seattle, you know what I'm saying? Denver, you already know they got no chance in Birmingham. That ain't gonna happen. They ain't coming to Little Rock anytime soon. Okay. New Orleans, they got some guy's disgusting apartment. It's like a 2-bedroom disgusting apartment. Ugh. Um, come on. So anyway, there's no way to turn this around. They are in a death spiral, but we're going to hurry it up. We are going to hurry it up as if people's lives depend on it. Because believe me, they do. If someone gets out a year or two earlier, it could save them their marriage. It could save them their family. It could save them their career. It could save them God knows what, their sanity. And when it comes to children and the elderly, we have no time. Okay. So we want to just spread that word that it's not just some creepy little goofy, religion that, you know, no big deal. They just believe some crazy stuff. No, 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 no. It's bad news. Real bad news. Okay. Um, and I'm just so excited, and I'm so proud of what we've built. I can't tell you. It's been a lot of work. Um, March 28th or something is my 2-year mark. Okay, since I started the channel, and um, when you see what we got coming up, gang, woo! I mean, I got goosebumps. I have goosebumps. Um, we are hitting it out of the park this next couple months, like you can't imagine, and it ain't stopping from there. We're going, 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 going. So uh, that's what I did already this morning before this stream. It's so cool. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Um, Go back up here. Okay. Do do do. Hi, Sharona. Do 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 do. Mm. Don't forget us. um, yeah, you guys are gonna be so proud. You're not gonna, you're gonna. Um, but yeah, James Steele says, can you not claim that you were an angel in a past life? Of course, you could say you were whatever. Um, Sharona says, so sick making children look back at past lives to get them to rat out themselves with imaginary withholds. That's exactly right. I guess that is why they need children to audit adults to help make it up. Gross. Yeah. It's sometimes I have to say this. I don't even have any idea how we got through it. I really don't. If it wasn't, I don't know. I think being that busy and having it be that crazy was what got me through it. Like if I would have had 3 weeks here and there to, because I went from one course to the next. If I finished a course at 2 o'clock, I started the next course at 2:30. Okay, you know, 90% of Scientologists who would finish the course and then they would take a week off, 2 weeks off, a month off, and that would turn into two months, whatever, and then they finally reel them back in to do something and repeat. Okay, rinse, repeat. I was done with the course. I started the next one. So I never had 2 seconds where this pressure wasn't on me. And, and in some weird way, what was killing me, it might have saved me. I don't know. In some weird way. Because I just, it's so gross. So gross. David says, with all your experience, people lying to you, you have become a master lie detector. Well, yeah, plus I had to lie. I had to lie. Everyone, all you do in a cult is lie. That's all you do. From how you doing? Fine, good. That's a lie. You know? Um, that's it. That's all you do is lie. Sharona says, this is some sick kind of grooming, the whole system. Absolutely. Magnus from Santa Cruz. So good to see you, my friend. Uh, oh, yeah. Lots of people were Jesus. Isn't that great? Lots of people were Jesus. Oh, boy. And Napoleon and all that. Yeah. I actually think some people check to see when someone died, and then they would, because I'd be like, the guy died like a month before you were born, so it works out real good, you know? What a bunch of crap. Hey, Lauren with the C. Sharona, the higher OTs have to realize the reason they can't talk about anything is because it's BS. Well, you're not allowed. You're not allowed as an operating thetan. You cannot talk to any other operating thetan about operating thetan business, which makes zero sense. None. That should be the one person you should be able to talk about anything to. Are you allowed to ask an auditor why your powers aren't working? No, no, no. You'd just be in ethics in 2 seconds. Nothing's happening. No, that's funny. Sunk cost fallacy might be most prevalent in members of this cult than anywhere else, percentage wise. Sharona said, and that could very well be. I mean, and like I said, it makes perfect sense to me. So I'm not like I get why if you had friends for 50 years, you want to keep them, and you think they're good people, and you fought beside them, thinking you're doing a good thing. I have no problem with those people all wanting to keep that community alive. You know, I'll never understand them wanting to continue doing Scientology. It doesn't. It blows my mind. But whatever. Again, if you're an adult and you're not paying 10,000, you're paying $10, and you want to have this stuff done, I would plead with you to not do it. It's incredibly dangerous and it's horrible, and there's no value to it whatsoever. And if anyone wants to debate me on that, please come along. I'll prove it live to everyone that you have zero power, zero ability, can't remember shit, don't know anything. All right? Just straight up. Okay? But the point is, if you want to enjoy the rest of your life with other people under the same delusion, whatever, fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. That doesn't. You're not holding each other hostage. You're not bankrupting each other. You know, do what you want to do. You know. Um, Did A girl said, did anyone act like they had powers when you were in? You can't act like it because that's then you're gonna bring it on. Then people are gonna be like, do it, dude. You know, um, you should be able to turn my Adidas into a corn dog right now. No ifs, ands, or buts. But no, you can't be acting like you have powers. That's so funny. Binabek said, "How far up the bridge do you have to get to avoid the implant station?" You got to be OT. You got to. I would imagine the wall of fire. I don't know exactly when they tell you that, like, or if they tell you you are now not going to be going to the implant station. I don't remember them saying that anywhere that I've ever seen. But it's understood that you'll no longer be under those auspices. When you have full control of yourself, right? So you'll go wherever you want to. You'll go to Laguna Beach and chill out. Whatever you want to do. Or Target 2 or some other planet. You can call your own shot, you know. Uh, no one goes back to when they were a shrew. I mean, LRH talks about when we were all, what was it, clams or something? It's so ridiculous. Um, oh, yeah, that's a great point, Sharona. They can't remember flying on those planes as frozen entities. Oh, right. They can't make that up. Imagine that until they completed OT3. Yeah. Plus, it doesn't really tell us how we got here. Like, it's a prison planet, but it sounds way worse for the people that Xenu flew over, chucked in the volcano, H bombed, and they flew all over the place, dizzy as hell, landing on us. Okay. Um, and who knew you could be just your being is drug addicted? Who the hell knew that was possible? Um, but yeah, how did we get here? If it's a prison planet, we obviously did something wrong to get here. Anyway, but they never said Xenu brought our asses here. Just the Thetans that are stuck to us. It's so ridiculous. Um, A girl says, I would think magicians would immediately get promoted to clear just for impressive performances. Yeah, right. Um, the Invisible Man was clear. Night Sky, that's funny. Marcia Smith, so good to see you. Yeah, Hubbard was busy. He was Buddha, the Antichrist. He was Chuck E. Cheese. He was all kind of people. Um, creative writing. Um, right? Just Dave says, I cannot imagine a past life being more exciting and harrowing than this one. Yep. Magnus, yeah, at various times LRH claimed to be Buddha, the Messiah, and the Antichrist. He mixed the mythology as much as his drugs. um, oh, I like that, Joel. In my advanced years, I am only sure of two things. One, none of us are getting out of this alive. And two, you can't hide broccoli in a glass of milk. That's funny. Yeah, my baby says, my dad showed me his powers, how he moves clouds with his mind. Oh boy, oh boy. Bilster, I can turn beer into water. Joel, I can make money disappear. um, yeah, so that was my view on that's my view on past lives, and uh, again, there's a lot of things that I came up against that I know I only came up against because of my age. I mean, looking back on it, and yeah, I'm just like, what are the odds? Because I was totally thinking someone was going to be like, yeah, 31 million years ago, when I was one of the original Zorks, you know, on planet Hubba Hubba and blah blah blah. And I thought I was gonna it was just gonna come, but it just shows you how difficult it is to have that even that imagination, right? As bad as the Xenu story is, at least it's a story. A lot of people can't come up with anything, right? That's why they need it to be sort of enconced in something that they do understand, right? Egyptian, whatever, but are you telling me from 5,000 years to 71 or 74,970,000, nothing happened? What? uh, Andrea, Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know what comes out of my mouth here sometimes. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get across regarding that. And let me just tell you something, guys. Hold on to your hat, man. We have some seriously exciting things happening here in this next 30 days, and you're going to see it all probably start in the next couple weeks here. Yeah, next couple weeks. Yep. And and I am so excited. It's like the culmination of all the work that we've been doing, and it's always to reach an enormous number of people, and we're about to do that. So excited. Um, so anyway, thank you so much, guys, for being there for me, and um, I've never been more comfortable, and I never felt better about where we are. So really, really happy, and and you guys are going to be incredibly proud. I guarantee you that. Can't give you any hints, but it's going to be worth the wait. I promise you. It's going to be 10 times more, 100 times more than worth the wait. You guys are going to go, that's my boy. That's what you're going to say. You're going to say, that's my boy. It's more exciting in OT 9 and 10. Those are just gum on your shoe. This is going to be so amazing. So, again, I thank you guys so much for being with me, and our family is just it's just we're just gonna get stronger and stronger and bigger and more awesome, and wow, all the work we've done is coming to a head, thank God, and I'm just so excited. It's like, you know I we've come so far, and it's just so exciting. It's so exciting to know what I could have only dreamed of is happening. So literally. So So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And thank you, Wellston. I really appreciate that. Oh, you know what? Hold on, guys. Thank God, because I haven't been in the studio forever. We're always out in the somewhere doing something. Hold on. I'm going to show you what Elston got me, and I'm going to open two of them right now so you guys can see them. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. And this stuff is going to come in mega, mega handy. I needed this seriously. Okay. First of all, it doesn't get any better than this. We're so awesome. We're going pro. Look at this. Okay. 48 channels for several devices work together. Working range up to 100 meters in an open area. Real-time monitor, audio dynamic bar, auto scanning, adjusted RF signal strength, multi-mode, whatever, lattice, I don't know, lattice LCD display, high resolution. This is, because see, you can't go up to people and hold something right in their face. People hate you to put something in their face. And when you're holding that little tiny mic, but people love to talk into a mic. Then people come to you. They want to talk. Everyone can't wait to get talked in the mic. And I need it to be wireless and no BS and be able to pick stuff up. Thank you so much, Elston. Now, we're going to open these are the these are the lithium batteries. These things cost $1 billion. Thank you so much. So, because you know how they never give you what you need to use something that you buy that costs a ton. And this is all from Elston, and I just can't thank him enough. It's from my my Amazon wish list. Yeah. Woo. A sick tripod. I mean, we're going straight pro. We're not even messing around. Straight super pro. Crazy. Off the hook. Wait till you see what we do. Okay? Thank you so much, Elston. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember this moment, okay? And then next year at this time, you guys aren't even going to believe. You're going to say, "There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that we went from this to where we're going. We're getting shot out of a slingshot, okay, multiple times, out of a slingshot. We're going to have literally millions and millions of eyeballs on us. Put that in your pipe, Osa. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm so proud of us. I'm just floating. I'm just floating. I am so proud of us. And all I ever wanted to do was just stop someone else from getting involved in this and look at where we are. Look at what we've already done. But what we're about to do is going to legitimately 10 times what we've already done. And isn't that what the hell we're here for? That's why we put up with all this bullshit. Okay. And by the way, you're not going to see any of that anymore because I don't have time for it. Okay. None of that crap. None of that crap will you see again on my channel. I don't care about Stinky. I don't care about venereal warts or the failed queens or any of that. I don't care about any of them. Okay. Meaningless. Meaningless. Okay. Absolutely meaningless. We are moving on. So good. So good. Will I do karaoke? Damn right I'll do karaoke. We karaoke on every Raider ride. I think I saw Rennie said she was singing and making cookies. I was like, I want them cookies. There's never a time where Rennie or Northern Girl isn't making something yummy. It's just crazy. And I want to eat it. Like, who's eating all that? Who's winning off of all that? And Tony Hoban too. Like, everyone we need to figure out a way to follow them around and just get some of the leftovers. Anyway, but yeah, so that's it. I think I said all I needed to say on past live stuff. Did you guys have any other questions regarding any of that stuff? Sharona, thank you. That's so cute. Sharona says you don't sing enough on our Raider rides. I'm always nervous that I sang too much because I don't even think about it. It just a melody hits me and I'm just done. I don't know. That's funny though. In my head, I'm always thinking someone's like, "Shut up, dude! I was loving that song. God darn it." Oh God. Oh, I didn't know I used to sing more. Okay, I don't know. Like I say, I try to shut up so people can just enjoy it while they're making cookies, But, but thank you. That's very sweet. I could see that. I'm sure there's like 30 other people while I read that. They're like, "Yeah, right, dude. Shut up." But anyway, that's funny. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Just be ready. Be ready for nothing but amazingness. This whole next couple months is going to be nothing but amazingness, and it starts in. Well, it could start as early as tomorrow, but you guys won't know until a couple weeks, and then it'll just progressively. It's gonna be off the chain. Off the chain. We're off the chain. So anyway, awesome. I'm so happy and proud. I'm just confused. I'm so happy right now. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day today. If I come on to do something later, great. But if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we'll tackle another part of this tomorrow. But have a wonderful day, and know you are on you're on the right team, boy. Something fierce, and I thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Love you guys. Until next time.